It's still Thursday, April 9th, around 5:30 p.m. Figured I would try to do song number 6, and then I won't only have to worry about the last two for the rest of the week or the weekend, and then work on other stuff later. This one's kind of easy. I don't think I'll be talking about it for half an hour. It's called Some Jump from Planes, which is the title of this album. It's kind of a stream of consciousness song. I wrote that last night. Wrote the lyrics last night, and I kind of edited the lyrics a little bit, but not too much. More for just the phrasing and the breathy quality of it. But I hear Joni Mitchell. This is a Joni Mitchell song. Like the early folky ballads. I'll try to find something old to share on this one. I'm a little bit more familiar and more comfortable speaking of Joni Mitchell stuff because I did go through her entire catalog, almost at least. Maybe I've missed some of her newer ones, The Tiger, whatever. That might have been one of her new ones, but I think she's better live. Like watching live videos of her is pretty wild. So, yeah, I'm a pretty big fan. I think she's got a unique all around flavor as a guitarist and a singer. Interesting story. I read her biography a couple of years ago. And yeah, very interesting character, very interesting artistic journey. And yeah, it was an inspiring thing to read how people had to do it in the 60s and the 70s and throughout her career. But it's pretty cool because a lot of those people that had dreams like that started as songwriters too, or just thought that's all they were going to do, would just be songwriters. And that's cool for me to read books like that because you don't really know what the future is going to bring sometimes. And it's cool to hear other people's versions of their journey. It's good. I love reading music books. I haven't kept up with it, but I keep hearing good things about various music biographies. Skeeter Davis, I just mentioned her a couple posts ago. She wrote an autobiography about her life that I wanted to read. If I can find it on Kindle or a digital copy of it, or maybe at a library if I find it. There's the Anthony Kiedis Scar Tissue that I've heard multiple people on podcasts say it's like the craziest book. And the other one I mentioned, I haven't read these yet, but they're on my to-read list that goes on forever, was the Three Dog Night story that's supposed to be even crazier. I forget what it's called, but just Google it, or I'll Google it right now and give you the details of it, because it sounded really cool. I think it was hard to find the book, though. Three Dog Night book. Help me Google. I think it's this one. Nah, that's not it. I don't feel like searching for this, but it's about the band Three Dog Night. Um, I forget. I saved it on one of my book lists, but I forget what it's called. Maybe it's this. One is the loneliest number on the road. I don't think it's that though. Yeah, I forget. Um, Whatever. I don't want to waste too much time on this. Maybe it's the Chuck Negron story. I don't know. I don't even know the band that well, but I just heard really cool things about it. It's a really, you can't put the book down. So why was I talking about this? Yeah, because I read the Joni Mitchell book, the biography, David Yaff, I think it was, and it was really good. I enjoyed it all around. There was a lot of that in some of the music I wrote in that period, like around 2021, and just a lot of the themes in terms of escapism. I always point to that Yeah, David Yaffe, Yaffe, Reckless Daughter, A Portrait of Joni Mitchell. It's really good. I'd recommend it. I think you can get it on Kindle. I think I did purchase it like that, but I also found it at a thrift store for like $1. And there was the one really cool chapter that I always go back to, and that she went to some Canadian wilderness to record For the Roses to get away from like society, electricity for a while. I think people do that today, and I mentioned that before. People have to escape from the digital underworld because that's what it seems like a lot of the time. So yeah, Joni Mitchell's the biggest influence on this one. I hear like that type of high voice that she has, and it's weird. For the longest time, I didn't like her voice. Whenever I heard the only song I knew by Joni Mitchell was the radio song growing up, and it was before streaming, before MP3s, where you had to listen to the radio. The only song I would hear was the parking lot song. I hate that song. I still hate it. There's some songs I just can't take, like they paved paradise and put up a parking lot. I really hate that song. I love Joni Mitchell, but I really hate that song. It's weird. There's some songs that are like commercially popular that just don't click with me. Maybe because the Counting Crows did a bad version of that. Maybe that was the first time I heard it, but I really hate that song. There's certain songs that like I try not to say bad things about anything, but sometimes I just have to say it. But yeah, that's like probably the only Joni Mitchell song I knew growing up, and I didn't like it. I really hated the voice and the music. I hated it. And then probably, I don't know, like 2017ish, that's when I started listening to Lakota, and I love that song still. It's kind of weird. I don't know if it's a typical type of Joni Mitchell song, but it was on her 80s album that I liked. I would listen to the whole thing. It was kind of weird. I don't think it was a big selling album for her, but I like that song Lakota a lot. I would I would always say, well, I want to make a cover version of this. But what's the name of that album? It's from the 80s. I found the CD at like a garage sale, Chalk Mark in a rainstorm, yeah. 1988. So it's very like 80s production, which is kind of weird, but I don't know, it clicked with me. And then I went back in time during 2020-ish and I went through her whole discography and kind of just, I went from the earliest stuff to maybe I missed a couple towards the end. I don't remember. But I think I listened to the majority of them at least one time. But the ones that really stuck out with me was Hejira, Hissing of Summer Lawns, and For the Roses. I think those were the three. I didn't really like Court and Spark. People tend to like that one, put it in their favorite Joni Mitchell albums, but I didn't really vibe with it yet. And I don't really like Blue that much. I understand there's amazing songs on Blue, but it wasn't like an album I really loved on first listen. I like the early stuff better. Song to a Seagull and the Clouds. Those two I really liked. And then maybe after Hejira, I kind of got a little discouraged and I didn't finish it all. I don't think I listened to. I'm looking at all the discography now. I don't think I listened to Turbulent Indigo or Taming the Tiger from the mid late 90s. So yeah, I got to finish listening to some of the more recent stuff that actually got good reviews, I think. But yeah, every artist kind of does that, right? They go through their 80s production phase and then I don't know. I don't know what the 90s stuff sounds like. But yeah, that's basically where I fall in the Joni Mitchell discography. I like the really early folky stuff that's like old English folk almost. And then the Hissing of Summer Lawns is amazing. Hajira's amazing. Those two are the pinnacle, I think. The Mingus one, I did listen to it, gave it a chance multiple times, and I never vibed with it. And yeah, there's really not too many other ones, but that's still pretty good. She has one, two, three, maybe five like perfect albums, so that's pretty damn good. And everyone's different. I'm sure there's plenty of people who would disagree with everything I just said, so that's the beauty of it. And yeah, that's what leads this song. Uh, this, I believe it came last night as well. I was just having another manic session where I would get a couple phrases and then I was like, I don't feel like doing this. And then I would just go back and record line after line and then try to write the lyrics. This one came out a little bit easier and I didn't have to struggle with the melodies too much, but I won't be able to sing it like I hear it in my head as much. But let me sing it now and then I'll speak a little bit more. I've already spoke for like almost 2 hours today about this stuff, and I found I start to repeat myself and get really redundant. So if anyone actually listens to this one day, it's going to be annoying to listen to my voice say the same things over and over again. So I'll try to sing this and get through it. It's pretty long. It's only 2 verses. No bridge, not really. There's kind of a bridge at the end of the second verse, but it just continues the verse. But I guess you could term it a bridge. That's just how it came out. So I don't really get hung up on that. Whoever would perform this, they could organize it in their head how they organize songs. There's an outro section, but it's very straightforward, ballad type of song. And yeah, I put Carole King again because I think that type of songwriting is in my head for this almost every song on this album. Maybe just not the last song because it was kind of an oddity. And so this one's called Some Jump from Planes. It's also the name of the album. Some fleeing tongues, some wager all, some pray for war, and some jump from planes. I don't ever want to speak again. Clouds are ever long, even when they're gone. And I don't ever want to rush the pace. Death oblivious, and miles away. So I'm trying to sing it the best I can, but it's kind of hard to try to mimic a voice like Joni Mitchell. It's such a weird voice in a good way. She can get like crazy high with it. I think that's what I'm trying to do, but I can't do it. So, like I can't even do the falsetto. I'm too nasally and shit. So, but you can get the general melody at least. Some fleeing tongues. I'm singing it like Johnny Cash would, like when he sang Hurt. Not as struggling, or what's the word I'm looking for. But I love the Johnny Cash version. I'm just saying he kind of had to struggle through that. That's what makes the song so good. But yeah, I guess this one is maybe more than any other one on this album. It's really meant for like a feminine voice. Unless I could really hear it in a different style, maybe. Some fleeing tongues. And I hear a piano pretty much. Some wager all. Some pray for war. 1, 2, and some jump from planes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess the time signature is pretty basic. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I don't ever want to speak again. Clouds are ever long, even when they're gone. And I don't ever want to rush the pace. Death oblivious and miles away. I don't know if I like that last one. Death oblivious. That's better, and miles away. So you should get the idea, at least, of how I hear the song. If you can picture somebody with a voice like Joni Mitchell singing it, that's where I'm going with this one. So after that, it would probably be some very brief interlude, and then you go right back into the second verse. I know I'm not hitting the right key because I'm picturing it so high, and I don't know how to match it with the lower register. Some stumble weightless, some identical, some tackle Everest, and some jump from planes. I don't ever want to dream again. Wings are always free, even through the storm. And I don't ever want to miss the signs. And I'm having trouble singing this part. I'll try to mimic it the best I can. This is the part that's kind of like a bridge to the song, but it's just ending the second verse, but it's extending it. So it could be termed a bridge as well. So I'll sing that again. I don't ever want to miss the signs. Death mysterious, but not so serious. When life is worth the risk, to embrace the drift. When the last, I forget how that goes. When the last seem permanent, I guess like that. Alright, let me try that again. Death mysterious, but not so serious. Life is worth the risk, to embrace the drift. When the last seem permanent, seek the monolith. To take that leap of faith, like a pill to praise. So you gotta get like Al Green high. Not in terms of drugs, I'm saying like the high voice. Now I'm hearing like the Al Green voice like a preacher. So now I gotta add Al Green, find a good spiritual song, because he does like gospel music now. Hey, my memory came back because I couldn't think of his name last time I did this. So that's basically how that part goes. I don't know what's that like, that's just going up like octaves, like death mysterious. If I start lower, maybe you could get the idea. Death mysterious, but not so serious. Life is worth the risk, to embrace the drift. When the lies seem permanent, seek the monolith. To take that leap of faith, like a pill to praise. And I would say you crescendo into some solo there, either, I don't know what I really hear yet. Like a pill to pray. I don't really know what I hear there in terms of a music interlude. Some kind of orchestration, but I don't really know yet. Maybe just a simple piano song with nothing else, just piano. Because I think Joni Mitchell does stuff like that, just piano and nothing else. I don't think she used a lot of instrumentation. I want to say most of her stuff was pretty minimalistic. Even For the Roses, right? It was pretty minimalist, and the early ones. I feel like the reason people praise Court and Spark, and I'll give it another chance because I didn't really like it. I think people praise Court and Spark because it had different instrumental sections. It wasn't just Joni Mitchell singing by herself and stuff, maybe. But I don't know. I gotta listen to it again. I actually forget what it sounds like. I couldn't tell you any songs of that. But I remember making like a every time I listened to one of the albums, I would kind of rank it, I think, and make some notes. Like I thought the early ones reminded me of Led Zeppelin and the old English type of folk music, because that's kind of what it is, basically. But I don't think I like Courtney Sparks, so I have to listen to it again, give it another chance. Maybe I was just in a bad mood that night or something. But that's basically how this song goes. That's the two verses. There's actually no chorus in this. So it's weird. I don't know if a chorus will come to me later, but I think it flows like this pretty well. Because the chorus is kind of the I don't ever want, ever want, ever want to speak again. It's kind of the chorus, but it's just I'm not labeling it that. I'm just labeling it as part of the verse because it goes continually. It's one of those types of songs, so I'm not going to get hung up on that, like I said before. And yeah, there's really no chorus, there's no bridge or anything, although that's kind of a bridge to what I just tried to struggle through. And after that instrumental, you would just go to an outro, which is a repetition of that hook that I was just demonstrating. I don't ever want, ever want, ever want to think again. Sing within the love, as the vision spins. And I don't ever want, ever want, ever want to live as planned. Death oblivious, and still miles away. I was thinking you could end it kind of sappy, but I don't know if I like that. That you just have a hard cut after you sing that last line, but I don't know. Death oblivious, and still miles away. I guess you could end it like that. That's kind of, it's sappy, but that's the type of song it is. It's very odd. I was just thinking as I was going through these lyrics, like last week I was singing about porn stars. Last week I'm singing about porn stars and do they keep resumes and trying to conjure Dead Kennedy stuff, Pennywise and all this angsty punk rock hardcore stuff. Now I'm trying to write Joni Mitchell songs, so I like this. I like how weird it gets from week to week, or I'll never complain if I get, like, Prince is an artist I never went through. I don't have any Prince albums that I've really liked too much. Like Purple Rain it's good, but I never want to listen to it. Like I listen to it maybe once or twice all the way through, but I never feel like going back to it. And yeah, I was listening to Joe Rogan with Arsenio Hall. I listened to part of it, and they talked about Prince, how he had trouble with the record industry, so he changed his name to the symbol so he could get credit for all his stuff or whatever, kind of like what Taylor Swift did. And yeah, I respect that. I know he's a great musician. He played every instrument and had a different vibe, whatever. I just never went through the Prince discography. It's another one people talk about. You have to go through Sign of the Times and all that stuff. But I never vibed with Prince that much. Like, I don't know. I like pop music to a degree. I just never, and I should like it because I like funky stuff. I like funk music. I said punk music is my favorite genre. My second favorite genre is funk. Like, I recently figured that out. Those are the two genres that make me the happiest, like punk music and funk. The punk and funk, I can't live without. And they're similar because they're like very free genres. They don't take themselves seriously. That's why I like it. What I'm writing right now, I'm thinking to myself, this is pretentious as fuck. I don't want to think like this, but that's just how I am cynically in my DNA as a music listener. When I write a song like this, like, it makes me feel so cynical, like I shouldn't be allowed to write a song like this. How dare you try to write a Joni Mitchell piano ballad after writing a song about porno stars and anal beads and shit like that. Like, I don't know why is that frowned upon though. I don't think it is. You just have to write whatever is coming out, create creatively. That's how I view it. Who gives a shit what people are going to think about it? Well, to a degree, of course, I want people to like it so they buy it or want to work with me. That's a big thing, but maybe more the critics and the comment section. Yeah, that's where the politics comes into play and all that dumb shit. That's when that shit gets more aggravating, I guess. But yeah, I've learned to ignore the noise when it gets in your face so much. But yeah, it's cool to have these realizations. While I was singing this, I was like, man, last week I'm singing about porn stars. I'm singing about not eating cows, like a punk song about that, and whatever the hell else. I don't even remember the other ones. That was only like a week ago. Just my brain gets really super focused on something until I'm finished it, which is good. Like, why wait? Just get it out while it's still fresh in your head. And that's my general philosophy, which I said in the previous post today. But yeah, I made a note for myself to mention that when I did my Kickstarter campaign, like maybe in, I don't remember, July, maybe June or July last summer, almost a year ago. I should have mentioned that, like, one of my main tenets of my artistic vision of creating these things as a commercial product is to stay away from the political bullshit. Like, you're gonna have political stuff in anything you do as an artist, or people will portray you as this or that, whatever they want to do. That's how it is today. But yeah, there's going to be some level of political discourse because that's in anything you do. You go to Wawa, and there's going to be some kind of a political thing going on at Wawa. Oh, did you hold the door for that lady? Or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Everything can be termed as a political moment or some kind of a super uber analyzed method of almost social engineering or something. It's weird, man. But I guess I'll just cut it off there. What else could I really talk about? I'm at 30 minutes almost. But yeah, I'll find an Al Green song because I was hearing his voice. So I found one male voice because he's got a crazy, like, he can reach crazy notes too. From what I recall, listening to him, some of his stuff, I don't know a lot of his stuff either, but I'll find something new maybe he did. 'Cause I think he still like does gospel music as a preacher or something. And those are the only three kind of influences: Joni Mitchell, Carole King again, and Al Green now. So if I think of anything else, I'll list that on my Substack. But yeah, I like this song. I think it could be pretty simple, but I'm almost at the point where I want to make this the closing song because I feel like that's a good way to end it. If you end the album with those lines, death oblivious and still miles away. That's kind of a cool way to end the album. So I'll have to think about that later. If I want to end the entire album with this song. Right now I listed it as track 6 because that's just how it came out of my head as I was trying to think of songs over the last few days and nights. But now that I think of it, maybe that would work as the closing track. And I'll have to do that once I'm done the other 2 songs, which I have to write the lyrics for. But they're kind of weird too. The ones I'll do over the next few days, I got 2 more songs unless something else comes, but I doubt it. I kind of have a sixth sense about when the album is complete, how many songs it's going to be, and I kind of just make a decision to keep it like that, unless something really captures me, but I don't think it's going to happen. I kind of like the minimalist approach in all of this. if you go into some kind of a studio or you record it yourself, if you have 8 songs that you really believe in, and these are still fresh, man. I just wrote these last night. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about them in a week, a month, a year, whatever. But I feel like it's an easier process if you just have 8 songs or 10 songs. You always hear stories like Pearl Jam will go record an album and then they have like 30 songs they didn't even use because they're just constantly writing song after song after song. Like, I don't know. I guess they just could use those ideas later, so it's not bad to write constantly like that. But I don't know. I think my brain's already cloudy with so many things I want to accomplish. So I think that's the main reason I like to keep it as simple as possible and live that minimalistic approach in all facets of my life. At least I try to, man. It's difficult. You know, when you talk about the whole carbon footprint thing and all that conversation. And yeah, it's a difficult, complicated path of political and just personal to keep your own mental health. You go down those rabbit holes and it just could drive you insane. You're always feeling guilty or, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be doing this. What am I doing? Supporting this. Blah, blah, blah. And it just gets real muddled after a while. You don't know what you're doing. So it's better just to keep it as simple as possible. And I'll end it with that.